Hello, good morning to all of you. In this video lecture session, we have going to start a new part of unit number 1, that the elasticity of demand, right? In the last video lecture session, we have to discuss about the law of demand and law of supply, and in this video lecture session, we are going to start a new topic, elasticity of demand, right? So let's start it. First of all, there are the content regarding this part. First one, there are the introduction, then the price elasticity, income elasticity, and cross elasticity. So demand elasticity have the mainly three parts: price elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand, and cross elasticity of demand, right? So first one, there are the introduction of the elasticity of demand. So let's see. The elasticity is a term is used in the economic to describe changes the behavior of the buyers and sellers in response to change in the price of goods or services. In other words, there are demand elasticity or the inelasticity for the product or goods is demand by how much demand for the product change as a price increase or decrease. In this elasticity, you can learn about that if the income elasticity of the any product, take the example that if a price of any product is changes, then how the we can say the demand of this product have to change. So in this income elasticity, and you have to learn about the how the income changes and the demand is changes, right? So in the price elasticity, if price is increase or decrease, then how the impact affect, or we can say how this price factor affect on the demand of the product, you have to learn about it, right? So a product of the good is determined by the how much demand for the product is changed as the price increase or decrease. And elasticity of product is one that the consumer is continue to purchase even after the change in price. The elasticity of a goods or services can vary according to the number of close substitutes available, its relative cost, and the amount of this has to be elapsed since the price change occurs. So according to the price elasticity, if a price change, then how the differences occur in the products, we can say that if a price is changing from 5 to 10 rupees, then how much impact is affected on the demand of product, you have to learn in this elasticity of demand. Okay, then after here there are the formula of demand elasticity, that price elasticity of demand means proportionate changes in the quantity of demand divided by proportionate changes in price. So there are delta Q divided by delta Q and multiply by 100 percentage, and delta P divided by P multiplied by 100 percentage. So there are the final equation is delta Q divided by Q and delta P divided by P. Delta is indicated for the difference between the quantity demanded before the price is increase or decrease, and there are Q is the main quantity of the product, and P there are the price is changes, price or increase or decrease, they are depend that according to that you have to find out the elasticity of demand. So let's see. Elasticity of demand heavily mainly three types: price elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand, and cross elasticity of demand. So first we have to learn about the price elasticity of demand. So let's start. So price elasticity of demand have a, we can say that subtypes, 5 subtypes of price elasticity of demand. First one, perfectly inelastic demand, perfectly elastic demand, relative elastic demand, relative inelastic demand, unitary elastic demand. So there are mainly 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 types of the price elasticity of demand. So in the next slides you have to learn about it one by one. So first topic is the perfectly elastic demand. So perfectly elastic demand is considered as the infinity. So if a coefficient of P or PED means perfect elastic demand is equal to infinity, the demand is perfectly elastic, so there is a one price at the consumer are prepared to pay. So here you see there are the in the last video lecture session you have to learn about the law of supply and law of demand, right? So in this graph you see that on the x-axis describe the quantity of demand and y-axis is describe or indicate the price of demand. If a demand for the product is perfectly elastic, a change in market supply is shown the right and outward of the supply will not lead to change the equilibrium price. So this curve is applied to the highly competitive market where no supplier has any price power. Okay, here you see that the price is fixed and the supply is changes, right? So your demand, we can say that demand is fixed. If a price is not changing, then supply is higher. Okay, take the example, when the price is P1, then your supply is Q1. Then price is, we can say price cannot change, but your demand is change. Okay, so it's called as a perfectly elastic demand, and there are the perfectly elastic demand have the infinity. Okay, so you have to find the infinity because there are the no changes in demand, and we can say that price is the higher and you cannot change any changes described in the demand. So price is fixed and demand cannot fix at that time. There are the infinity of demand, there are the perfectly elastic demand, you have to find it. Okay, then next one is perfectly inelastic demand. Okay, perfectly inelastic demand means what? Perfectly elastic, in the last we can see that here demand curve is, you have to find the demand curve in the elastic demand, you have to find the demand curve is parallel to x axis. So our PED means elasticity consider as the infinity. Then in the next slide you see there are the reverse situation from perfectly elastic to inelastic. In the elastic you have to see that the demand curve is parallel to x axis, and here you see the demand curve is parallel to y axis, right? So you see here. So here our inelastic is considered demand is 0, and in the last slide you see that in the last slide we have to find that the elasticity is infinity, right? Then after, in the next slide, there are the perfectly inelastic demand. So perfectly inelastic demand means what? A perfectly inelastic demand curve is the extreme case for the implies the consumer are willing to and able to pay the any price for the product if a supply falls. The equilibrium market price can rise without the any constraint and quantity of demand. Here you see prices changes. Prices changes from P3 to P2 to P1. But here you see our demand is fixed. In the last slide you have to see that price is fixed and demand is not fixed, right? Here you see that price is variable and demand is fixed. So at that time this type of variation are considered in the necessary goods, right? If necessary goods prices are rising, or we can say falls, but our demand is same. Take the example, if we have to demand that wheat, rice, flour, okay, so these are our necessary goods and we have to demand if a price is rise or fall. This is our basic need, so we should demand it, right? If a price is falls, or we can say rise, because it's necessary, so we should purchase it, right? So this is type of perfectly inelastic demand, and the demand curve is considered as a parallel to y-axis. Then after, third type is the elastic demand. It's considered as a relative elastic demand. So here you see, if a demand for the product is price elastic, the suppliers stand up to gain the extra revenue for the reducing this price. So the changes in the quantity of demand will be proportionate higher than the reducing in the price. So this shown the diagram, you can see that here prices falls from P1 to P2. So here you see that demand is increases higher than the price is decreases. Okay, here prices decreases P1 to P2 and our demand is getting higher. We can say here you see that loss of revenue from the selling at the lower price and the increase of the revenue from the selling is more than the lower of the price. That's why our demand is considered as the greater than 1, because here quantity is higher than the price. Okay, you can see here that our quantity demanded is higher than the price is false. Okay, so here our demand curve is like a steeper. Okay, our demand curve we have to get steeper because quantity is demanded higher. Okay, you take the example, if your price is considered that the 5 rupees and you have to fold your prices 4 rupees, then your quantity 10 to, we can say that 40. So here you see that you have to change in the price is lesser and the quantity you have to demand it the higher price. Okay, then after, relative inelastic demand is a simply opposite of the relative elastic demand. Here you have to doing the change, we can say minor changes in the quantity and the higher changes in the price. Okay, so here our inelastic demand we have to get less than 1. So here you see that following the changes in the price, the total revenue earned by the product firm will be depend on the PED product. So if a coefficient of PED is less than 1 is rise the market price from P1 to P2 will be lead to increase in the total revenue. Here you see that if our changes, you have to see that price is P2, then our prices decreases from P2 to P1, then there are the minor changes you have to find, that there are the higher changes in price and lesser changes in the quantity. That's why our, we can say that elasticity we have to get is less than 1. So it's called the relative inelastic demand. Then after, last one, fifth one is the unitary elastic demand. Means what? There are the same changes we have to consider. There are the same changes in the price and same changes in the quantity. If you have to fold your price from P1 to P2, if our price is decreased from P1 to P2, then our quantity you have to find that Q1 to Q2. Okay, so there are the same difference, you have to see there are the same difference you have to find out. So our elasticity of demand is considered as is equal to 1. So with the demand curve of the unitary elastic price, a change of price is made with the proportionate changes demand. So this means that the total spending by the consumer on the product will be remain the same for the each price level. So here if a price is higher or lesser, there are the same changes you have to find in the demand of the product, right? So it's called the unitary elastic of demand. Okay, then after, next type of elasticity of demand is the income elasticity of demand. So here you have to find that the income elasticity of formula, but let me tell you what is the meaning of income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand means if there are the changes occur of the consumer's income, like take the example that income of the consumer may be decrease or increase, then what was the effect we have to find on the demand of the product. You have to find this effect, and we can say what are the changes occur this type of behavior. So you have to find out the income elasticity of demand. So here there are the formula of income elasticity of demand, that income elasticity of demand is equal to proportionate changes in the quantity demanded divided by percentage changes in income. So income elasticity of demand is equal to D1 minus D0. D1 means what? There are the, we can say that lastly if our income is 10,000 and then after our income is increases from 10 to 20. So your, we can say that your D0 is your old income and D1 is your new income. So you have to minus it and divide it by the plus of total both income, new and old income. And here there are the total income you have to consider, and in the first you have to changes consider that if your we can say that the example that if you have the income of 10,000 rupees, then what type of product you have to demand and how much quantity you have to demand, and then after your income increases, then your we can say product demand is also increases. Okay, so you have to find from these formulas. Then after, the value of income elasticity has the three forms. First one is the positive income elasticity, negative income elasticity, and unitary income elasticity. Okay, first one is positive income elasticity means what? Positive income elasticity means there are the higher changes in the demand than the income. Okay, so it's called the positive income elasticity. So here you have to find the greater than 1 of the elasticity of positive income elasticity. Then negative income elasticity is reverse than the positive income elasticity, means there are the lesser changes in the demand, we can say in the compared to your income. Okay, so it's called the negative income elasticity. Then unitary elasticity means what? and unitary elasticity is equal to 1, because there are the same changes is occur in your income and your demand of the product, right? So it's called the unitary income elasticity. Okay. Then after, last one is a cross elasticity of demand. What is the meaning of cross elasticity? First one, cross elasticity you have to find in the two products, substitute products and the complementary product. First one, what is the meaning of substitute products? Substitute products means we can say that you can use instead of the this product. It's a substitute product or competitor product. Take the example that the Activa and Hero Honda, right? So Hero and Activa both are the competitive firms, and you have to find that the Activa and Access, so both are the substitute products. Then after, complementary product means what? The products you have to use both product. So take the example car and petrol, charger and mobile, SIM card and mobile. So there are the complementary products. So what are the changes is affected of the other product on the, we can say, price of changes of the other product, then how it's affect on the others demand. So there are the considered as a cross elasticity of demand. The cross elasticity of demand is an economic concept that measures that the responsiveness, the quantity of demanded of a one good when the price of another good is changes. Also called the cross elasticity of demand, this measures in the calculated taking the percentage change in the quantity demand of a one goods and divided it by the percentage change in the price of the other good. So here there are the formula of cross elasticity of demand, that percentage change of quantity of demanded of a product divided by percentage change in the price of the product B. So here product A and B may be we can say take the substitute product or maybe the complementary product. If the price is change of the B product, then how its affect on the demand of the A product. So you have to find this type of, we can say, changes through the cross elasticity of demand. So here there are the mainly three topics you have to learn about: the price elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand, and cross elasticity of demand. According to the GTU's point of view, GTU's examination point of view, have to must learn about the price elasticity of demand and cross elasticity of demand. Cross elasticity of demand in the GTU examination, they have to ask 3 or 4 times in the short questions, and there are the price elasticity of demand they have to also ask in the GTU examination. So from unit 1 you have to prepare about the law of demand, then after nature and scopes of economics and the difference between the micro and macroeconomics, and then in this video lecture you have to learn about the price elasticity of demand and types of the price elasticity of demand and cross elasticity of demand. Okay, after watching this video lecture, after that you have to given a textbook from our college, right? So you have to learn from this. After watching this video lecture, you should learn about the from the book, from your textbook, from your kit book. And if you have find any query, then directly contact me, directly call me. Okay, thank you so much.